All right, welcome back to the Find Your Edge podcast. I am your host, Chris Newport, and I am here today with our dietitian, Amber D'Angelo, and we are talking all about how to navigate the holidays without gaining weight. So like doing it in a healthy way. So first of all, Amber, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So it may be something that a lot of people know is that weight gain over the holidays is very common, which is true. But some of the recent research that I was looking at before getting on this call was how much weight do people typically gain? And in the literature I was looking at, it's only about a pound or so. Obviously, everybody's different. But the problem with that pound is that it stays. And then there's this cumulative effect over time, right? So it can be tricky with so many different gatherings and families, parties and friend parties and rich foods. And, so understanding that the holiday is really more about being social and being together, and food is very commonly part of that, or honestly the main event.
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
So you have some really fantastic tips. So let's jump in.
Right in. All right.
Tell us the things.
Well, like you said, food is everywhere. It's at all the gatherings, it's at all the parties, and it does so often become like the centerpiece or the main event when really we should be prioritizing our family and our friends and the people at those gatherings over the food. And food, it's wonderful. It's a gift. It provides us, nourishment for our bodies. It gives us energy or fuel. But food, like I said, it's a gift. It gives us so much more than that. And so, looking at the food, looking at the event from a social standpoint and making sure that you're prioritizing the family and friends over that, and that food has brought you together, and appreciating what that food has done and that it's brought you together, but making sure that you're spending time with the people around you and not just hovering over the food. And stepping away from the food and looking around you and really being aware of the people that are in your presence and being present with those people. So I think that
Well, on that note, being present is I know I get hangry real quickly, and everybody's appetite is a good part genetic. So it's like, okay, well, if I know I'm going to be around a lot of really fantastic food, I'm going to have to eat before I go so that I can enjoy being around people rather than looking at this food like, oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Yeah, and that's great. So don't skip meals, beforehand to make room or to save space for holiday meals. Make sure that you're still eating, your breakfast or your lunch if you're going to a dinner event, and getting good protein, lots of colorful fruits and vegetables, so that you don't show up and you just attack the food that's in front of you, because it's going to be delicious. So make sure that you're eating your meals and drinking your water and staying hydrated, and so that you are in control and that hangriness does not take over and the monster comes out, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that hangry monster is not delightful for anyone to see. And I think there's a social energy too about like how you're eating. I've seen some interesting research about like if you have fit friends, you're more likely to be fit, and vice versa. Okay. Right. So I think some people feel weird about eating in front of other people in certain situations, and then they may have an expectation that they're supposed to eat a lot. Okay. In other situations, like grandma knows that I am supposed to eat 4 slices of pie.
Yes. Yeah. And that's hard too when people like food pushers, right? People who have you had this? Have you tried this? You need this. Go eat some more. Do you want, and practice before you go saying no, and in a polite way, and figure out, strategize and plan. that say, I'm full. I'm not going to go back for seconds. I've had enough, but I would love to take some of that home with me. If I could, it was so good. That piece of pie was wonderful. I'd love to take a piece home for tomorrow. So yes,
Yeah, that's a really good way of nicely saying, you know what?
I've had enough.
That was wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Or one that I really like is, oh, have you tried such and such? Like, oh, that's what I'm going to have next, especially at, the parties where people are all sort of mingling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to go next.
Right.
And you may not make it over there by maybe intentionally or not intentionally.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's more a sense of satisfying the host
Yes.
and expressing gratitude
Right.
for what they've done and how much work they put into, some of these gatherings.
Yeah. And going you don't have to say no to everything though. You're there. It's fine to enjoy that food and grab a plate, and put on the plate, small portions of the foods that look really good to you. And savor those foods. And then if there's food, like you said, someone says, have you tried this? And you're not interested in that food, don't take it, or take a little bit and don't eat it. You don't have to eat everything that's in front of you. But choose some good protein, choose colorful fruits and vegetables. They're usually at every party. And enjoy some treats. It's the holidays, so enjoy those treats. Just don't overindulge. um, listen
Yes.
listen to your body, and give it time, to feel full.
Yeah. Yeah. Because once we start eating, it typically takes roughly 20 minutes for that hormonal response to trigger your brain to say, you know what, I'm good. Um, and I know when my hangry bug gets a hold of me, oh yeah, that food is going in fast. So
It
yeah.
takes, yes, and so we don't have time to recognize when we're full. Another tip is, if when you finish your plate, you have your plate and you finish it, is to go and have a conversation or to seek out a social interaction instead of going back up to the table, or instead of grabbing seconds. If you're sitting around the dinner table and you finish your plate, instead of reaching for another spoonful or another piece of pie or whatever, have a conversation with the person next to you and just slow down. And that goes back to the food being more than just um, food. That, look around the table, enjoy the colors, enjoy the smells, take time, just breathe, and take time to enjoy where you are and your surroundings. As I said, food brings a lot to the party and to the social gatherings, but eating it is not everything. There's so much more to it.
Yes, that's a great tip for sure. And the pausing, savoring. One thing that kind of came to my as you were talking is anything that has marshmallows on it. That's a hard pass for me. So it's like,
It's
how do
dessert.
you say no to that? Right. Yeah. But I know some people love that,
Yes.
but that's a big no. Like, oh, you made it look so beautiful, but I am really itching to have that pumpkin pie because that's my jam. I love me some pumpkin pie.
Yes, for sure. Me too.
So yeah, navigating family that's a hard one.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
can be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, and to show your, and I think we feel like we need to eat to make the host happy, maybe, or a family member happy, but if you pause and have conversation with them, that's going to fill their buckets just as much. And so looking for other ways to fill people up and to nourish their souls in other, besides just eating all their food.
Yes, exactly. Good point. And that makes me think of the size of plates. I don't know about some of your households, but what the holiday plates are massive.
Yes.
So big. And even you and I, as dietitians, we will be fooled.
Yes.
It's just a conceptual thing that our eyes are going to be deceived by how much food is on that. So,
and if there's a spot left, you feel like it needs to be filled with
yes.
food. So if you can pick like the dessert plate, and eat off the dessert plate.
Yep.
Or just be aware and fill the center of the plate and leave the edges, empty.
I like to sort of pick a little bit of everything. Like maybe a couple of bites is my first go round. And then like you said, like kind of taste it, savor it and be like, what is worth what's worth me going back for?
Right. Yeah.
Is the turkey too dry or
Yes.
should
Or do I want a little bit extra?
yes. So is everybody else drowning it in gravy? Maybe I want to go another route. So to your point of like savoring your food and then also savoring the company around you, like are you in a rush to like stuff your face really fast? So you take your time and have that conversation or like put down your fork in between bites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sip on water.
Mm-hmm.
So chew your food completely and
Yep.
really enjoy it. Don't just swallow it. Take time to taste it.
Yes, exactly. I loved one of your other tips that you had before we got on here was being in the kitchen. So prior to a lot of these gatherings, tell us some of your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So if you're responsible for prepping some of the food or maybe you're even bringing a dish, invite someone with you so that becomes social also, and that you enjoy that. And that becomes maybe a tradition to cook with somebody, to prepare the food with somebody and enjoy that whole process and know that what you're preparing is going to bless the people around you, and to nourish them. And so that's a whole part of the food too, and recognizing and stepping back and thinking that this is a part of what the food brings to the social gathering, and not just eating it. And make sure that you have a good meal before you're preparing the food so that you're not constantly snacking on everything and eating everything, so that before you even get to the meal, you've already had a full meal while you've been preparing it.
Yes, there's another one. Another like tricky one is, and I always recommend to people if you are going to eat something, whether you're preparing or whether you're at like a buffet or something, if you're, or a lot of people will do this just in their normal daily lives, like they're so hungry and while their meal is heating up, say like in the microwave or something like that, they're snacking already.
Oh, yes.
Right. So I'm like, okay, you got fair game on vegetables. You can eat all the carrots you want. You can eat all the cucumbers you want. Like at least, get those guys in while you're waiting. Or put it on a plate first.
Right.
So that our brains can register.
How much?
Oh, yeah. Rather than just like keep reaching into the chip bucket or, whatever it might be, then you totally lose track and inevitably. And I highly recommend Mindless Eating as a book. It's Brian Wansink's work, Food Psychology, that inevitably you will underestimate how much you've eaten.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, yeah. So having your little plate and, putting the things on it, you're like, you want to have the sweets, you want to have, whatever it is, like, that's cool. Just put it on your plate. And when the plate's empty, okay.
See your food, right? Yeah. Just grab it and put it in your mouth without seeing it. See it, put it on the plate and make that, mind connection with it before you eat it.
Yes, for sure. And then you also mentioned earlier, trying some new recipes.
Yeah. New recipes, for dinners, or even, social gatherings, you can make a vegetable, recipe, try new vegetable recipes. And you can be that person that shows up with the broccoli, so try new recipes, make something really tasty, something that you will enjoy and that others, try to get others to try something new also. But and also with baking, if you have a holiday tradition of baking, try some protein bar recipes or some protein ball recipes or something that's maybe a little bit lower in sugar, higher in protein, a little bit healthier, so that and you can share that too, and then you're sharing something that's a little bit healthier when all the treats are going around, that you have something that's going to fill you up and provide you some nourishment, at the same time. You can share those with neighbors. Don't feel like you have to eat them all. You can take them to a nursing home. And that's another thing, just getting out and doing something besides staying around the food all the time. So, if you're in the house and just, and find yourself keep going back to the refrigerator or back to what's left, put the food up, put it away, and go and do something. And it can be serving in your community, or it can be going to get a workout or going for a walk, and just getting out and doing something else that doesn't involve food.
It's like the candy jar, right? Every time you walk by the candy jar, you make a conscious or subconscious decision of whether you're going to have any. And at some point, your poor little brain gets tired. And it's just going
Absolutely.
to be like, you know what? I'm just going to have some candy. So,
Yep.
and that's not lack of willpower. That's how we're built.
Right.
That's, so you mentioned activity. So
Yes.
we've been talking about what's going in our mouths. Talk to us about the activity part of things. How are we expending calories?
Yeah, so it's just staying active. And a lot of times, if you're traveling or even if you have family in town, it's hard to stick with your normal workout routine, and that is okay. Don't beat yourself up over that, but just find opportunities to squeeze in movement and to encourage your family and friends to move with you. And so that might be going outside, getting some fresh air if the weather permits, and going for a walk or playing a game of football or kickball or something fun. I know we're going to be traveling for Thanksgiving, and we're going to take our pickleball set with us. My family loves to play pickleball. Hopefully, it won't be freezing, but we'll bundle up and go play pickleball outside, or we can try and find an indoor court too. So that's something. It's family time that we get to do together. But we're preparing for that now, so that we take, make sure we have our tennis shoes, make sure we have our pickleball set with us, so that we can do that. Even things like if your family's tradition is to watch football on Thanksgiving, maybe make a fun game so that the team that you're rooting for, they get a touchdown, you can all get up and do squats together. Or if the opposing team gets a touchdown, you're doing push-ups or jumping jacks, and you can just, make a game like that, just so you have fun. Another little workout that we like to do as a family here. If it's too cold to go outside, we have stairs in our house, and we have a pull-up bar in one of the doorways upstairs. And so we will start at the bottom of the stairs, and we'll do push-ups, and then we'll run up the stairs and do pull-ups, and then we'll run back down and do push-ups, and run back up and do pull-ups. And you can do any exercise you want. But just that is a great way to get moving, and it's fun because you're kind of chasing each other and seeing how many pull-ups you can do. So that's
Yes,
just a fun way to move.
it is. Yeah. I love, especially on the days when you're stuck inside, we have like, okay, 20 burpees,
Yes.
and it inevitably turns into just like a total laugh fest.
Yes.
Right.
It's
And which is
yeah.
like, okay, we're not sitting and staring at a screen, which is similarly, a win. I'll put my son on my back like a piggyback.
Yeah.
He's like, do squats, mommy.
Yes. Yeah. And it's great family time to stay together and to move like that. Or turn on, some Christmas music and, dance, or your favorite music, or,
Or
whatever kind of
dance
music.
party. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
I'm also, and as we're talking about activity, I'm thinking of a lot of people who might be traveling in airports.
Yeah.
So I'm always the one like with the backpack on, like going up the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah. Or just like walking up and down the halls, like
Hmm.
because it's so easy to just sit so much. And we just need that little extra blood flow to avoid like DVTs.
Yes.
Um,
Especially getting on the
and
plane.
just not go crazy.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm like one of the few who's using the stairs. Everybody's just kind of standing there on the escalators or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
use the stairs, and there's plenty of room to walk in an airport. So
totally.
just walk, and it's kind of fun to walk around and look at everything and do that instead of sitting.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of at the beginning of the season committing to yourself. Like I'm still going to enjoy my holiday. I'm going to enjoy the people. I'm going to enjoy the food,
Yes.
but let's also be a little bit mindful, slow down when I'm eating, get that little bit of extra intentional movement. park further away, which you may not be able to park even close to any store if you're
Right.
going shopping.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's always things that you can do in small spaces or large spaces, or do a turkey trot 5K, or
Yes.
yeah, there are
Yeah.
options. I think it's just a matter of, just like anything else, you just have to sort of commit yourself to
Yeah.
accepting the challenge.
And if you are traveling, like you said, looking up to see if there is a race where you're going to be, or even just a local health club.
Mhm.
Um, I know that we've done that. We've looked up the local health club and the hours, and we've planned some classes that we want to go and take, and some as a family, and that's a lot of fun to just go and check out other areas and other.
Yeah, do something different for sure. Amber, come back. Paused. Okay, cool. All right. So speaking of challenges and like making the commitment to yourself, Amber, you have put together a pretty phenomenal holiday challenge. So tell us what it's called and what's involved in it.
All right. So we have a challenge that will go for the 3 weeks in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's called A Season of Nourishment. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the holidays, except for that we know that this time of year can be so stressful. And it is all about a little bit of self care through nutrition and through movement and through some challenges or some tips for your mind and your spirit. So, really nothing to do with the holidays. I'm not going to ask you to cut anything out. I'm asking you to add in healthy tips or healthy habits. And hopefully these healthy habits, after you've done them for 3 weeks, you have some favorites that do become habits instead of just doing them once or twice over the 3 weeks. You're like, I can do that. And I can do that every day. And then those habits will help reduce stress. They'll increase energy levels. They'll lead to weight loss or help you help prevent that 1 pound of weight gain that happens over the holidays if you can implement these habits in your life. And every day of the challenge, there will be three, and I'm calling them gifts instead of challenges. So there'll be three gifts. You don't have to do them, all three of them, though. You can do one, you can do two, you can do all three. So it really is about picking the challenges and the gifts that are really going to nourish you during those 3 weeks. And some examples will be the nutrition challenge might be make half of your plate fruits and vegetables today, colorful fruits and vegetables. So fill up half of your plate with vegetables. And then there's a chat function that's in the challenge that's going to be open, and we can chat with each other if you want to. You don't have to, but I'm encouraging people, show me your plate, and let's encourage one another. Oh, that looks good. Encourage each other through the chat and sharing what we're doing to accomplish the gifts. A movement gift might be to take a 10-minute walk after lunch, or climb the stairs, try to spend a few minutes on the stairs today, or park in the furthest parking spot today. So really simple movement. Even if you have a real consistent workout routine, most of us need to move more. And so this is just establishing a habit of moving throughout your day, just simple movements. And then a mind or spirit gift might be to get 8 hours of sleep tonight, or to wake up and start your day with a morning walk. Just simple things that you can do. A few of them on there are to volunteer in your community, or to share a meal with somebody. So they're just very attainable things, but that they will bring joy to you and to your community, your friends and family in those 3 weeks in between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's really cool. I'm so excited for this program, especially since it's not like, oh my gosh, this is a plank challenge. No, this is not, or this is a macro challenge. No, this is not
You don't have to
that.
do anything. No,
You don't need that added stress for the holiday, like,
it's all about building healthy habits.
yeah, because this is stuff that sticks with you for a lifetime. So, and yeah, we're really trying to support people through that process.
Yeah, and there'll be resources on the modules with the challenge as well. So there'll be handouts to help you. Like if I say, get protein today, there'll be protein suggestions on there on what to eat, and there are some recipes on there. So make a smoothie today. Well, here's a smoothie recipe you can try, and I'll have some videos on there just sharing some tips. So it comes with a lot of resources too. So lots included.
Yes, for sure. And if people get signed up within the next, I should say by the time this is coming out, so Thanksgiving's going to be next week.
Yes.
If they get signed up by next Monday, so the Monday of Thanksgiving, so a week before the program starts, you get a healthy holiday recipe cookbook with 25 recipes, including protein bites.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. So, and all kinds of different things, from a turkey wrap to like something that you can make on the actual, some like fancy meals, and then some snacks and protein bites, and all the nutrition facts are in there, pictures.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I think you've done a really fantastic job putting this together. And I think people are really going to appreciate a breath of fresh air through the holidays to really manage stress and manage their nutrition. And then you're going to be behind the scenes, kind of taking care of them.
Yes, I will be there.
I love it. Very cool. So you guys can find out about the challenge. It's called A Season of Nourishment.
Yes.
Find out about it on our webpage, theenduranceedge.com. It's up there at the banner. And if you click that link, then you'll go right to registration. All right. So before we tie things up, what are top 3 tips you think, Amber, for people to walk away with for the holidays, for healthy holidays?
Yes. I think the first one is just to prioritize the family and friends over the food. I think that's, a lot of them roll up into that. I think that's the most important, is to just, prioritize the social time with your family and friends. I think the second one would be to recognize everything that the food brings besides just eating it. Pause and enjoy the food while you're eating it, but enjoy how it looks and how it smells, and just that it's bringing everybody together around you, and just have, approach it with a grateful heart, and it will kind of change how you eat it. You might not inhale it, quite so fast, if you're taking time to really appreciate it. And then I think the third one is to move, stay active. It's good for your body, your mind, for everything. So move and have fun with your friends and family while you're moving, get that movement in.
Very cool. Amber D'Angelo, registered dietitian from the Endurance Edge. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure you will be back. So just a reminder, sign up for the challenge at theenduranceedge.com. A season of nourishment, a 21-day season of gifts, right? Is that what
It's 21 days of
You said it really beautiful. Nourishing gifts. Yes, I know. We know our own programs. We promise.
Right.
Well, Amber, thanks for joining us, and have a great holiday.
All right. You too.